something that stands out from the book of Samuel is how well-grounded King David always is. He seems to be such a spiritually sound person. For example, David is sound when he chooses not to kill Saul because he recognizes in Saul the anointed, even when Saul was persecuting him unto death. I think David is also very sound when the prophet Nathan lets him know about his own sin. He doesn't give excuses like Saul did, but rather he's also sound in recognizing his sin. And I think that today David also gives us a proof of how spiritually grounded he is. He receives an amazing news from Nathan. He is told, God will construct you a house that will last forever. And what's the first thing that David does when he hears this news from Nathan? It's so endearing. It says, he goes and sits down before the Lord. And he gives thanks to the Lord and he humbles himself before the Lord. But what I like to point out is this attitude of bringing things before the Lord as soon as they happen. I'm saying this because I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but sometimes when something happens to me, I stay up in my head. And I'm trying to process things in my head. And after a while, I ask myself, have I even prayed about this? Have I even consulted to God about all these things that are up here in my head? Or am I just trying to solve the things on my own? But David receives the news, and the first thing he does is he takes it to the Lord. So I was thinking about an image that can be useful. I think that when we keep things in our head, it's like trying to read a book with a very dim light. It takes us long to read a book when the light is dim. And sometimes we don't even make sense of things. And it takes us just longer and it's harder. But when you consult with God, it's like the light is no longer dim, but rather you can see the fullness of things. And then things make more sense. So today, brothers and sisters, let me ask you this question. Are you like David that brings everything to God to console him as soon as things happen? Or do you see yourself perhaps staying too much in your head? The prosperous and the unfavorable, do you bring it to the Lord? My encouragement for each one of us is, whatever happens today, rather than trying to process things on our own, let's take them to God. Let's sit down before God like David, so that he can shed this full light and we can read before him the message that he has for us in each of our happenings in our life.